Going to Bangladesh now in South Asia, the new child marriage law there, which allows children as young as 14 years of age to be married off by their parents, is being heavily criticized by the rights group in the country. The new law keeps the minimum marriageable age for males at 21, for females at 18. However, the law relaxes the age bar for special circumstances that includes for girls who elope, are raped or bear children out of wedlock.
Hi, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. So welcome to Abolished Child Marriage Forum Discussion. So me, Muhammad AIDIL and Muhammad ZAKI will be serving as your moderator for this forum. So you'll be hearing a presentation from 5 panelists of a very timely subject. Before we start, hopefully all audience can jot down all the interesting information and marriage in this live forum. Okay? So now moving along to our session. Please welcome Prime Minister of Malaysia, Mr. HAIQAL and second panel is Mr. Muhammad AQIL bin AZAMI, representative of Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development of Malaysia, and it is Mr. Muhammad AIMAN bin KHAIRUL as the CEO of Medicom, right? And fourth, Mr. AR-RABBANI bin MAZLAN, as founder of Malaysia Action of Justice and Unity, or known as MAJU. And the last but not least, our the one and only student from KTN campus, which is MURSILL bin ISRARR. For those who did not know the meaning of child marriage, it is a relief of forced marriage. Also, it's defined as any marriage in which either of the partners is under 18 years old of age, with or without consent. Okay, an example, as parents in a young age, they usually do not have a permanent job. However, it will help the increasing of a workforce, industry and government can avoid from bringing in foreign workers to Malaysia. So let me start with Mr. AQIL. What do you think about it?
Assalamualaikum and good morning. Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for giving me a chance to talk. And welcome to our panel for our topic today. I'm Muhammad AQIL bin AZAMI, who is a representative from Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development, will give my argument on the issue discussed today, which is, do you think child marriage should be abolished? From my point of view, child marriage is able to give a negative impression in terms of the economy and development of a country. According to an article entitled The Economics of Child Marriage taken from the Berkeley Economic Review, the child marriage is estimated to cost economies at least 1.7% of their GDP, which is gross domestic products. It increases total fertility of women by 70%, which hurts developing countries battling high population growth. Based on the effect, the economy of a country will become stagnant, because the government not only needs to think about the rising economic costs that they have to bear all this time, such as the rising currency and lack of food resources, but they also need to think about the question of increasing fertility levels that increase to 70% as a result of child marriage practice. Furthermore, if child marriage is abolished, it will give a positive sign for the country's growth. This can be proven by a study taken from an article entitled Child Marriage Has a Significant Economic Impact, New World Bank Research States from the Girls Not Rights website. The study found that by ending child marriage, birth rates would decrease, productivity increase, and countries could benefit from economic growth and a shifting population age structure, often referred to as the demographic dividend.
Okay, thank you, Mr. AQIL, because you give your point of view. So let me move to other panel, which is Mr. AR-RABBANI. How about you, Mr. AR-RABBANI? Do you agree with that opinion of Mr. AQIL?
Thank you, Mr. AQIL. But I think I have another solution, and I don't agree there at all. In other context, this will assist parents in assessing the cost and benefit of marriage and deciding to marry their daughter earlier if they are seen as an economic burden that can be alleviated through marriage. In this context, we must look from many different angles, especially in terms of the economic and population aspect. that may be faced by the parties involved in order to show some of the benefits available. For the first thing, I am more inclined to state that this will indirectly help in increasing the human population, widely and immediately help in increasing economic growth. And my second thing is that this issue will be able to increase the percentage of generation in the world. So undoubtedly, there are many disadvantages derived from the practice of child marriage, but it should be noted that there are also things that can provide benefits from the other side, no matter how little or how much. The proof is that in today's world, for developing countries is essential to look at statistics and economic improvement. So it has been shown that among the factors that can influence the increase in statistics is the occurrence of an increase in the total population. So a country needs to make the economic change as a good image to show how competitive a country is. Other benefits will create new relation or political alliance that contribute to the status and help stabilize the country's position in the eyes of the world. I have done some research. According to a World Bank Group report, in some countries, for example, such as Bangladesh, the situation does not eliminate children's marriage, can yield considerable profits compared to its economic size, especially where child marriage have stayed normal. At the same time, there is no denying that there are many words from other parties in denying this child marriage to continue to happen. This is because they state that childhood is a time of product development that can bring profound and long-term consequences for a child's future. But if viewed from the other side as well, if it continue to happen, then it will continue to help in development to this family's institution itself, as soon as it can increase the percentage of generation in the world. As a result, it grows if a generation that is formed carries good identity or genetic, then it will grow widely. The resulting picture is very complex, which can reveal that many aspects of development and learning are interrelated if a person has a good genetic in something such as solving mathematical questions.
In my opinion, I do not agree with the point given by Mr. Rabbani, which is that he said that with an increase of the population of a country, then will increase economic growth. This is because developing countries such as Indonesia, India and Iraq, they need a strong economic resources to continue to support the progress of their countries. And with curbing high population growth rates in developing countries would boost economic growth and contribute towards economic stability, saving the global economy with $566 billion by 2030. The facts I give are based on the economics of child marriage taken from the Berkeley Economic Review. So it can be concluded that by controlling the population of people by abolishing the child marriage, it will help in improving the economy of a country. It's all from me and thank you.
Okay, Mr. Aiman, according to empirical exploration of female child marriage determined in Indonesia, children born to young mothers are also more likely to have a poor nutrition. In their statement, most immediately that we are dealing with are cases of children being forcibly and suddenly exposed to sexual acts before they are physically and emotionally ready. And also, the girls are at risk of bearing children before their bodies are physically mature. With these two articles show that it is risking the life of the children itself or the parent itself. So, are you agree with it?
Thanks to Mr. Moderator. But sorry, I disagree with your opinion. Because when discussing the positive effect, one report suggests that the child marriage and early birth have significant implications in terms of health. Women who get married before the age of 18 are more likely to have more children, affecting the health and well-being of themselves and their families. Also, if you talk about in terms of one perspective about child marriage, it will be prone to cancer and various diseases. But ordinary marriage also does not run away from the things like those found in the press and our daily life. From my point of view on this topic and based on the articles I read, There's some evidence to support my opinion that child marriage can make confident decisions and help them maintain a healthy marriage. The spouse and in-laws now have the power to make decisions about their life, and they can change who they are. Girls who get married before reaching the age of 18 can also learn important life skills through their marriage. And if they have mental health issues, they may be able to talk to their partner. If there are other problems, they may be able to use their methods, such as seeing a psychiatrist, who can help them solve the problem by giving them suggestions and advice. Even child marriage has received a lot of criticism among others, and that doesn't mean there is no solution to the issues. If we talk about through the family perspective, child marriage couple will have time before planning to have kids, and they may be able to delay their first birth and birth spacing. This is because when couples marry young, they don't need to rush into things which includes having a baby. They can enjoy and relish their moments together without having a focus on children. When they are ready to have a children, they will be fully prepared for motherhood and fatherhood. From this, we can conclude that the child marriage helps them become more mature in making decisions as well as develop their personalities.
However, Mr. Aiman, children's lack of knowledge about family planning, with that, if they have a child, cost of living of Malaysia is quite high. And according to the true cost of raising a child in Malaysia, the total cost of raising a child in Malaysia lies between 400,000 to 1.1 million. And it will lead to depression and stress to the young parents to raise only for one child. However, but it doesn't mean that young parent cannot afford to raise a child, right? Okay, that's all. I think that's all from me. So thank you, Mr. Aiman. Okay, next, Mr. HAIQAL. As a Prime Minister, do you agree to abolish child marriage?
Alright, thank you Encik Adi for inviting me to this forum. So I'm going to talk about the education perspective because of child marriage is actually denies the right of education. So my first point is child marriage is actually cutting short the academic, and my second point is childhood is actually the period of development of for a child's future. So moving on to my first point, the practice of child marriage restricts the children's educational development and cutting short their academic trajectory and ultimately disempowering them from engaging meaningfully with their community and the world at large. So child marriage is forced on young boys and girls in many parts of the world, particularly in developing countries. The most important factor is gender discrimination, which is deeply ingrained in many societies. Women are considered the property of their fathers and husbands in a patriarchal society, with no freedoms to choose, with no freedom or right to choose or whom when to marry. The gender discrimination, which encourages child marriage, is also aided by the cultural and traditional practices. Early marriage has existed for centuries and has historically been used to strengthen family ties as well as to establish new connection or political alliances that contribute to family stands and help to stabilize their position in society. According to a United Nations Children's Fund (UNICEF) report, approximately 720 million women worldwide are married as a children today, with approximately 15 million girls marrying before the age of 18. At this rate, an estimated 1.2 billion child bride will exist worldwide by 2050. Another factor is a lack of education and awareness on the part of all parties involved in the child marriage, including the girls themselves, their parents, and future husbands. Girls with no formal educations are more likely than girls with a secondary and higher educations to be victims of forced marriage at a young age. If our parents were educated, they will be more aware of the harm caused by the child marriage and would have a negative attitude toward the practice. And my second point is childhood is a period of development that can have a profound and long-term consequences for a child's future. Young children thrive in a secure, positive relationship with adults who understand how to support their development and learning. The science of the child development and early learning demonstrate the significance and the complexities of working with the young children. From the infancy in early elementary school, according to research, what is going on in young children's mind is far more complex and sophisticated than their outward behavior suggests. In addition to development biology and neuroscience research, development cognitive and educational psychology research has contributed to a better understanding of the developing child. The resulting picture is remarkably complex, revealing the many aspects of development and learning are interconnected. A child, for example, must learn to regulate emotion and attention, to concentrate and stay engaged long enough to learn new ideas and skills. So if children are forced into early marriage, they will not be exposed to education, which is very important to themselves.
Yes, Mr. HAIQAL. And how about you, Mr. Harith? Do you agree with
So thank you, Mr. HAIQAL, but I disagree with the statement because I have do a research on website that shown people aged above 95 has graduated on the college. Getting a graduated is a major accomplishment, no matter how long it takes. It shows you are smart and hardworking and tenacious. Child marriage was not too late on education actually. By giving them a second chance to graduate will increase their knowledge, change their lifestyle and change a different point of view is the most important. Child marriage need and support from all parties actually in education. So they can getting support from ALE. Adult and learning education supports and enables to people to understand change, to cope with change, to respond to change and to transform ourselves in our world. So my first point is change of new era study. LE will be offering vocational and income generating knowledge and skills. It is about livelihood, about enabling people a decent life by securing existence and work in both formal and informal economics. Since the world of work is transforming constantly, ALE is integral to the changing world of work as a new skill, attitudes and capabilities are required. Some of skills like a rapid development of new technologies, especially information and communication technology, artificial intelligence and increased digitalization pose. So my second point is ALE advocates for and contributes to education as a human right. It also instrumental in helping child marriage, adults and older people to meet the challenges of the dynamic changes in our local and global environment, in political, social, economic and cultural fields, and to untangle and solve problems faded across the different stages of our own life and work. So my third point is transformative. Learning involves to live responsibly with nature, to mitigate the harm to the planet, people and the societies, and to prevent the further harm and deterioration. With new knowledge continuing to advance rapidly, this should never be at expense of valuable knowledge and skill proven over centuries. So learning to become good ancestors through committing intergenerational solidarity is a commitment to a progressive yet sustainable and equitable future. So my last point is vocational education and training adults have always been one of the main tasks of ALE and will remain a key task in the future. The uncertain dynamics of the world make schools and traditional education less agile to deal adequately to these challenges. So with the changing structure of the economy, mutation in the labour market in the workplace, LE is one of the few ways to help people navigate through what is the longest period of one life.
For the statement that given by Encik Harith, I'm not fully agree with that because older people may be face a variety of problems if they still continue their studies at a practically old age. So various things that need to be emphasized in terms of medical, healthcare, emotional and support and also counseling.
Okay, thank you very much to our panelists for addressing this interesting topic. So let me move to next session, which is a Q&A session, question and answer. Okay, here's the first question that we received from citizens out there about the child marriage, and we have provided the video how the people respond about it. Let me see.
Hi Miss, do you have any question about child marriage?
Yes, of course. How about these questions? How we can solve the problem of the child marriage?
Okay, thank you for the question. Okay, because it's the first question, let me give this question to Mr. HAIQAL.
Thanks for the questions. To answer this question, we need to look at various factors, but the most important is education itself. So every person needs education to think about all these things so that he knows or she knows which one is bad and which one is good. So that he can value should we continue these things or not. So parents also play a very important role in decision making. They do not make unreasonable decision to marry their child to someone just to ensure to secure their family financially. So thanks for that.
Hello, Mister.
Yes.
Sorry for bothering you.
It's okay.
Do you mind if I ask you something?
It's okay, go on.
Do you ever heard about child marriage?
Child marriage. Yes. Why?
Do you have any curiosity about that topic? If you do you have any question running on your mind about it?
Talking about child marriage also related to early marriage, right? So, what is different between child marriage and early marriage?
Alright, thank you.
Okay, for the next question, what do you think about it, Mr. Aiman?
Thanks for those who are asking question. It is a good question. Child marriage and early marriage largely refer to the same things. Marriage in which one or both spouses are under 18 years old. However, early marriage is also sometimes used to describe marriage in which one or both spouses are 18 or older, but with a compromised ability to grant consent. For example, the marriage of a 19 years old who is not physically or emotionally mature or who does not have sufficient information about her choice will be considered an early marriage.
Hi Miss, do you have any curiosity about child marriage?
About what?
Do you have any curiosity about child marriage?
Yes, is it worth it to the financially disadvantaged parents to support this child marriage?
Alright, thank you.
Okay, for the third question, Mr. Rabbani, what do you think about it?
Alright, thank you from the question that have been given. So, I think yes, it is worth to the financially disadvantaged parents to support to this child marriage. If we see from the different contexts, there are a lot of benefit in this modern century to survive. For example, in India, show that girls who postpone marriage end up paying higher dowry, a hardship for poor families. So this will burden some families who have no financial advantage. So this is very sad, and I think this should be continued.
Sorry bro,
Yes.
do you aware with child marriage issues nowadays?
Yes, of course.
Do you have any question about that?
What is the advantage if an act that abolished the child marriage existed in economy perspective?
Alright bro, thank you.
Okay, next, Mr. AQIL. What is your opinion?
Alright, thank you for the question that given to me. Alright, some advantages. If an act is created in abolish the child marriage in terms of economics, a country will focus more on the development of a facility or upgrading existing education, whereas a country expenditure will be more controlled and not wasteful, and it can provide strength to the economy of the country in terms of allocation. It's all from me, and thank you.
Hello sir, are you busy?
No, why?
Have you ever heard about child marriage?
Yes, I do.
So do you have any question about child marriage?
Question about child marriage. Okay. How child marriage happen and support on education, especially on the new era of studies?
Alright, thank you sir.
Okay, you're welcome.
So thank you for the question that has been given. I will answer the question. So child married can still have an education by getting support from ALE, Adult Learning and Education. This is because ALE will helping on all aspects actually in education. We know that education nowadays was changed because of the technology used, finding information, fast changing of economic, the IT and so on. With all of these changes, ALE will support and offering vocational and income generating knowledge and skills, actually enabling child merit a decent life by securing existence and work in both formal and informal economics.
Okay, thank you for all answers on behalf of this forum. We would like to thank you for joining us today. Hopefully the forum gives a lot of benefits and advantage, and also knowledge that is useful in future to all of you. So maybe meet again another time. Thank you and bye bye. Assalamualaikum.